رمضان جئت فمرحبا بك يا ربيع الأتقياء رمضان يا شهر المحبة والتسامح والإخاء
نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Let us all recite salawat and durood upon the best of creation, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by saying Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Moulana Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim salatan wa salaman alayka ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, you are watching Suhoor with Ashrafi, brought to you by Mazhar-e-Islam Academy. Alhamdulillah, today we are going to speak about one of the greatest personality of Islam, al-Mu'mineen, Sayyidah Khadija kubra. Before that, let us introduce our guest to you. That is none other than a personality who is the director of Darul Ulum, Imam Ahmad Raza Irasimiya, none other than His Eminence Hazrat Allama Moulana Ridwan Qadri. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
How's Mawasaf doing?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. How's Ramadan Sharif?
Alhamdulillah, going well so far.
Alhamdulillah. The first Ashara is just about to end and the second is about to start. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadah, inshallah.
Ameen, Allahumma ameen.
Dear viewers, inshallah, without any further delay, inshallah, we will ask our guest, inshallah, to enlighten us with the topic of Sayyidah Khadija kubra.
نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد معدن الجود والكرم وآله وبارك وسلم. Alhamdulillah, today we are discussing a personality who is a role model for the entire Muslim Ummah. A personality who is one of the greatest women folk that have tread on this earth. And it is important for us to understand her life, her dedication, her sacrifices in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, so that we can understand how we need to live in this dunya and we can understand how we need to become the ghulam of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And it is important that we understand the background of Sayyidah Khadija kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, because in today's day and age, where we find many of us, we strive to gain the dunya, we strive to gain the wealth. And when we look at it from that perspective, there is a lot we can relate to when it comes to Sayyidah Khadija kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, in terms of her background and how she changed her entire background to dedicate her entire life for Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Now, if you look at her life, if you look at her background, Sayyidah Khadija kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she comes from a very powerful, a rich and a respected family of the Quraysh. And she had the title of Tahira, meaning, and this is because of her modesty and her piety that she had. And this is the reputation she had even before she met Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And she was also known as Malikatul Arab, meaning the Queen of Arab, because of the wealth she had, because she was independent, she was a businesswoman, and she was one of the leading businesswomen of that time amongst the Quraysh. And she was respected, she was from a powerful family, a rich family, and she had everything that she could ask for in this dunya. And she was married before, and she became a widow. She had 3 children from her first husband. And as she was conducting her business, then she met Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And when she met Huzur alayhi salam, her entire world changed. And when we look at how she was an independent businesswoman coming from such a powerful tribe, from such a powerful family, rich and respected, and when she comes in contact with Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, when she becomes the blessed wife of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, then we find that none of all that she had mattered to her anymore. Because now all that mattered to her was Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Subhanallah. You know, today we run after the dunya, and you know, some of our women folk, they want to be independent. They want to have their own money, they want to have their own wealth. There's nothing wrong with this. But we need to learn from the life of Sayyidah Khadija kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, that independence, wealth, all of that in its place. But when it comes to the court of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, we must be willing to sacrifice everything for the sake of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And this is why we find, even though she came from such a powerful family, such a rich and respected family, having so much of wealth, so much of independence she had, but she sacrificed everything and she became the kaneez of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. She served him in every single way possible. She became the one who served him with complete and absolute dedication. She never had and never asked for a servant after she became married to him. Imagine somebody coming from such a rich and wealthy family, and we know in today's society, when we have people in rich families, they have their own servants, they have people doing everything for them. And when they get married, they expect the same thing from their husbands. And here, look at the example this great personality sets for us, that even though she comes from this kind of a background, this kind of an wealthy and opulent background, but when she comes into the nikah of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, she wants to serve him wholeheartedly and with full dedication. She does not ask or request for any servant. She does everything for him by herself. Subhanallah. And this is what we need to understand from the life of Sayyidah Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anha, about her dedication for Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, about her sacrifices for Huzur alayhi salam, about the patience and forbearance that she had. Imagine coming from such a wealthy family, having everything, and now the amount of hardship she had to go through when she was married to Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, being in his nikah. But she never complained, not once, when it came to all of these things, because none of that mattered. The dunya did not matter to her anymore. Her entire dunya was Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And this is what we need to change our mindsets about. We need to stop running after the dunya and start running after Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Start having that dedication, that jazba, that enthusiasm to sacrifice everything for Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam the way she did. And you know, for 25 years, she served Huzur alayhi salam. She was married to him at the age of 40, and till the day that she passed away at the age of 65, she served Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam with absolute dedication and love and sacrifice. And when we look at all of these things and how she changed herself, her entire lifestyle, everything to suit Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, to promote what Huzur alayhi salam was trying to promote in terms of the deen, and to console him and to support him in this period where the kuffar used to mock at him, the kuffar used to insult him, the kuffar, they used to torture him. And at this point, she was his pillar of strength. She was there to support Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. In fact, Huzur alayhi salam himself mentions that sometimes after coming from the kuffar and trying to give them da'wah and trying to teach them about the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and after being distressed by them, after them torturing him, after them insulting him, etc., he used to come home absolutely exhausted and tired. And he says that when he used to come absolutely exhausted, and Hazrat Sayyidah Khadija kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, when she used to open the door, she used to be there with a delightful smile on her face to welcome Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Huzur alayhi salam says that when he used to see her smile, all of his tiredness and exhaustion used to disappear. Subhanallah. Again, this is a lesson for our own womenfolk, our mothers, our sisters, for us to understand, our wives, that this is how a wife is supposed to welcome a husband when he comes home. This is the job and the task of a wife, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the womenfolk as a tranquility in the home, as a tranquility for the husbands. And when you follow in the footsteps of Sayyidah Khadija kubra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, then you will find the same peace and tranquility in our homes that which she created in the home of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam.
MashaAllah, subhanAllah. As you are mentioning about how she brought peace and muhabbat towards Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam and happiness to him. So just a question over here, that Did Sayyidah Khadija al-Kubra marry Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam in an early old age, or it was after some age?
She married him at the age of 40. And
Even
Rasulullah,
after that age?
even after that age.
Allah,
and
Allah.
Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala sallam at that time was 25 years of age.
Normally in our society, after 40 or 50, we start planning for retirement.
And again, you're correct that we have that mindset that, when you're over 40, then you're too old. But again, she showed us this, that she married at the age of 40, and all of the children that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala sallam had was from Sayyidah Khadija al-Kubra radiyallahu anha.
Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through her sadaqah, allow our women folk and mothers, inshallah, to enter Jannah, inshallah. Dear viewers, inshallah, we will take a short break, and please stay with us and enjoy this beautiful topic.
رمضان جئت فمرحبا بك يا ربيع الأتقياء رمضان يا شهر المحبة والتسامح